All right, so we got a call right now. Let's go live with Teron. Welcome to the program, Teron. What's good with you?
Hey, what's up, Lamont?
Hey, ain't nothing, man. You got a question for Rashad?
I didn't get my stimulus money because the bank account that I used, I closed it. And so where does that money go?
So what you'll have to do, my strongest suggestion for you is to reach back out to the IRS.
Man, I'm just working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
Personally, though, what I wanted to do was, I know this year was starting off real crazy. Last year was wild as far as financials was concerned. And so I wanted to talk about taxes because I'm already getting emails about tax time. And depending on how you did 2020, when you did it, I did 2020 like 2 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry. I did 2019 like 2 weeks ago. So I know, there was some deadlines that got extended. There was some penalties that got waived, but the tax code is a monster, and we need to be in a position to not get tripped up by no little shit in 2021. So I wanted to get this brother on, a 20-year tax professional, Black-owned business, deals with personal and business. So I wanted to see if he could, come on and just drop some info, kind of put us in the right direction so we don't trip up on ourselves when we get this stimulus and start these LLCs and we know what we're doing out here. Like I said, I did my 2019 taxes 2 weeks ago. And so 2020 is already January. They like, all right, you want these W-2s digitally or what? How you want to do it? And I'm like, shit, I don't even know. Welcome to the show. Let's go live from Holloway Tax Services. Rashad Holloway, welcome to the show.
Holloway Tax Services. Been in business for the last 17 years and counting. Really happy that you invited me to your show. Lots of great information going on in the tax world, and it's a great time currently to be alive. I mean, watch the things happen and transpire. If you own a business, great time to be a business owner and take advantage of some of these great grants and things that are out there to help your business grow.
Yeah. And the reason why I brought you on is because I really like how you laid out, and and I had questions and you answer them in a way that's easily understandable from somebody that is not into the profession. What should we be doing right now in January as far as our taxes?
Right now, what I advise to all my clients is make sure that you have your record straight. If your records aren't straight, your records won't be straight for me. So that means I'm gonna have a hard time or a headache trying to figure out what happened last year if I wasn't talking to you. I know you mentioned yourself. We talk often, so I know what's going on with you, and and we make sure that we touch bases. But mainly, it's very important to make sure that you have a lifeline or a line into your accountant to make sure that they know what's going on with you.
Now, 2020 was weird. Deadlines got pushed, and there were some benefits that disappeared, and some credits that reappeared. And are we looking for towards any sense of normalcy in 2021 as far as the tax code is concerned? Is it going back to usual 3 years ago?
I don't think it's going back to 3 years ago. What will happen was I think that they'll push it right now. Of course, everything looks like everything will be due on April 15th, but mainly I think it will more than likely. They'll hold on to the April 15th as long as possible. But more importantly, folks should look to make sure that they have everything filed timely, or at least try to make sure that you have everything ready timely. So that's where that's the important thing.
Are there any benefits or credits that are coming for you doing your 2020 taxes that reflect the year that was? Is there anything that's like, all right, I missed a couple more payments. I lost my job. Like what unemployment came and then it went and then it came back. Like, is there anything that's going to be reflected on my taxes that I can?
Yeah, there are some things that I've seen thus far in most of the 1040 updates that I've sat in the classes that I've sat through. So some people did or did not. Some people did not get that $1,200 for their stimulus, the first stimulus that came out last spring or early summer. So for the folks that did not get that money, you're able to claim that on your 2020 taxes to be able to go ahead and get that money that you missed the first time around. Before, as the second stimulus is rolling out, and I'm getting bombarded with information that, hey, my bank hasn't given my bank, it deposited in my bank account, but that wasn't my bank. What should I do? So yeah, those types of things, you're able to take advantage of that as the year comes around. So the first stimulus, you're able to say, hey, I didn't receive it. They know that you didn't receive it, so you're going to get that money.
So you're going to get it as a credit or actual a payment on your return?
You're going to get it as a payment on that 2020 return.
Ah, okay.
So
now,
so
yeah.
they know who received the money and who didn't. So it's not it won't be a surprise, you know, that you didn't receive it. So you go ahead and claim it so that you can get your money.
Are the you know, is unemployment insurance or whatever it's called, the official term, is that a write-off? Is that or something? Is that taxable? Is that
unfortunately, unemployment is taxable. So let's say a person received unemployment and did not take taxes out on that unemployment. That, in addition to if you had a regular job and the job maybe went under, or you may have gotten furloughed or you know, just laid off for a couple of days, or while during the pandemic, you will include your W-2 from that job that you were originally working, and then any unemployment taxes that you received, any unemployment benefits that you would have received. So sometimes unemployment does take out the state and federal taxes, and sometimes it does not. You kind of have to tell them.
So I did a thing. Well, I hope somebody do a thing. I incorporated a LLC on New Year's Eve. Is that 2020 or is that 2021?
That's 2020. That's going back to the left. That's going 2020. It's 2020. Okay. That's when the business was started. That's when the business became live or went live with the state or federal government. So that's a 2020 start.
Oh, that's a 2020 start. That means that if I choose to do itemized deductions for this go around of taxes, is it retroactive? Does it go back to J1?
Yes, it does. So you're able to, if you on that last day when you filed to start that business, and if you had any other expenses, let's say for example, you started a manufacturing business, right? All the supplies and things that you bought in 2020 is deductible in 2020. It will not go into 2021. So any of those expenses, such as payroll, anything like that, is a 2020 expense. Any income that you brought in 2020 is for 2020.
Ah, nice. Does the EIN number have to be issued in 2020? Is the question coming from the Peanut Gallery?
Not necessarily. It's up to you when you say that you started that business. But if you, let's say you requested that EIN number, I know a lot of people who requested EIN numbers on Monday and Tuesday. But if the business started in 2020, you claiming it, you started for 2020.
Okay. If you got the PPP last year, what is that? How do you do that? Do you claim that? Is that a write-off or is that income?
So the PPP is interesting as depending upon, so for the PPP money, most times that was used to supplement income or to make sure that the folks that you had on your staff or even your suppliers were able to continue to go strong and not falter during the time of the pandemic. So sometimes that you won't receive, that's not necessarily considered income. It's more so a loan. So I know a lot of people got PPP money, some people got SBA money, and your accountant or bookkeeper should say, hey, that was loan money and not necessarily, how do I put it, income.
What's the difference? The PPP and a loan.
So for that loan or for the grant, you have to keep folks employed, and so the PPP money or sometimes the PPP money is forgivable, and also some of the SBA money is forgivable. But you have certain parameters or certain things that you have to, requirements that you have to meet to have that stuff forgivable.
All right, so we got a call right now. Let's go live with Teron. Welcome to the program, Teron. What's good with you?
Hey, what's up, Lamont?
Hey, ain't nothing, man. You got a question for Rashad?
I didn't get my stimulus money because the bank account that I used, I closed it. And so where does that money go?
So what you'll have to do, my strongest suggestion for you is to reach back out to the IRS. And that's going to be a hard task. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, but that's a hard task that you'll have to do, try to get them and correct that. I know that they have a website where you can maybe go in and and correct some of that information. But more than likely, that's going to be on you to proactively reach out to them and get all that taken care of.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
All right. And expect a long hold time. I had a client who told me earlier today they were on hold for at least an hour earlier, unfortunately.
Appreciate the call, Teron. 765, let's go. One is the call. We're talking with Rashad Holloway from Holloway Tax Services, your tax expert, trying to give us a little, walk in 2021 with a little confidence and, and doing the right thing. So let's go to the peanut gallery. Ed Flavors, Ed Snipes says, after the passage, I need you to tell me if this is true. After the passage of the CRSA, CRRSAA into law in December 2020, Congress made clear that forgiving PPP loan is completely tax exempt and is not taxable income.
That is correct. That's why I said when you kind of mentioned it, I'm like, hey, there's a difference between the loan and the grant. So yeah, that's why I kind of try to differentiate that with the difference of income. And income means, hey, I sold you a good or service, and that's income coming into you into the business. Definitely a different batch of money.
All right. So as I said before, this is a shorter version of our discussion that's probably going to hopefully happen again next week, ongoing. But before you go, can you give us some things or a couple healthy habits this tax season that we should be paying attention to that you might feel like everybody should know this, but a couple, 2 or 3 things that we should be doing to protect ourselves so we don't get tripped up.
Sure.
Even if it's something as simple as like make sure you keep receipts and blah, blah, blah.
Sure. You know me. I'm a receipts kind of guy. And even with the receipts, I'm like, hey, receipts now fade after maybe a week or so. So take a picture of it, store it, make sure you reconcile. If you're not using QuickBooks or something like that, make sure you reconcile your books on a monthly basis or every couple of days, as you're going to spend a lot of money doing things. You're going to spend a lot of money on different expenses. So it's definitely important to keep track of those receipts.
So welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Fan favorite, a regular on the show, Ike Speaks.
What's up, family? Thank you for having me back.
And this is Rashad with Holloway Tax Services. So you had a question right there.
Holloway.
How you doing?
I'm great. I have a question for you. So as a business owner, I just learned this. This is sad. I didn't take tax in law school. Converting that LLC to an S corp.
Yes, the first 75 days of the year are your friend, and when I say they're your friend, first 75 days are your best shot to change that LLC into an S corp, and that's probably one of the conversations we should have next week, where I have a little bit more time to kind of expound upon that. But if you plan to make that change, and especially if you're in your first 3 years of business, that's the perfect time to do it.
All right. And there's the website right there. It's hollowaytaxservices.com. Rashad Holloway, the good brother right there, laying the jewels on us, the info. I appreciate you. We're gonna run this back next week when America's back. We get America back. So I appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad efficient.